Alright, hey guys, I'm back with another video, and I'm going to be explaining what happened between Transformers 3 and 4. Alright, so here's what we know. Nest was disbanded, and Cemetery Wind was formed to only kill Decepticons. And the Autobot base was in the CIA HQ. Optimus Prime was attacked at Mexico City, as we can see in this clip right here.
Royal Canin has precise nutrition for your breed's unique needs. Get it at PetSmart. PetSmart. Anything for pets.
Where collarbones crack.
I might have to get rid of this for copyright. Sorry, guys. I really gotta get an ad blocker.
Look like a missile.
Let's just get to this clip right here.
Missile hits your engine. Stay there. He's not gonna hurt us.
Weapons systems damaged.
A missile hits your engine, and we took it out of you. You're hurt really bad. Just trying to help you. You're in my home now. I'm an engineer. My name is Cade Yeager.
Cade, I am in your debt. My name is Optimus Prime. My Autobots, they're in danger. I need to go. I need to go now.
How far you think you're gonna get? Tess, come here. He needs our help.
Sorry, I paused. My bad.
What happened to you?
An ambush, a trap, set by humans.
Alright, yeah, as we could see, Optimus Prime just got jumped, practically. Autobots and Decepticons were both hunted down by Cemetery Wind. Optimus sent a message warning the Autobots. Lockdown worked with Cemetery Wind to capture Optimus Prime. Harold Angiger is the leader of Cemetery Wind. He went behind the back of the United States government to kill both Autobots and Decepticons. And we'll see a very heartbreaking scene of Ratchet getting gunned down by Lockdown. Here.
Medical Officer Ratchet, I'm a friend. Oh. I'm an Autobot.
Why are you running?
Optimus sent
Pay
this
attention to this
distress
guy.
message. Calling all Autobots. We are under targeted attack. Cease all contact with humans.
This cease all contact humans is going to be very important later. Alright. What we don't know. Alright. What happened to Sideswipe, Dino, or Mirage, Topspin, and Roadbuster? They're these characters up here. Right here. Why did Optimus Prime go to Mexico City? And did he go alone? When did Lockdown come to Earth? When was Cemetery Wind formed? When did Cemetery Wind start hunting Autobots? What happened to Sam Witwicky? Sorry, this might be a little cut off here. But did the Autobots have a final stand against Cemetery Wind / Lockdown before the events of the movie? Alright, here's the theories. Two pretty big YouTubers made very interesting theories. We have the Fire Brothers and Theory Miss, formerly known as Trans Theories. But alright, I'll start with Fire Brothers. He made a theory saying that after the Autobots were received the Optimus Prime's distress messages. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Distress message. They snuck out of the CAHQ and regrouped at an abandoned power plant. Bumblebee's vehicle mode was recognized by people in the area, and they called Cemetery Wind. The Autobots have a fight with Lockdown and Cemetery Wind. Autobots get overpowered, so Leadfoot sacrifices himself to let the others escape. The survivors forever resented Bumblebee after for getting their friends killed. Yeah, now we'll go to Theorymus. He made a theory suggesting that the CIA gave the Autobots a base, and Harold Angiger founded Cemetery Wind. Cemetery Wind 4 then worked with the Autobots to kill all the Decepticons on Earth, but Harold secretly got in contact with Lockdown. Then he struck a three-way deal with him, Lockdown, and KSI, as shown in the movie. A few weeks before the events of the movie, Optimus was lured to Mexico City. After he was attacked, he sent his message. Bumblebee got Autobots out of the CHQ, and told them to split up and regroup at Monument Valley. Yeah, I know that was a lot. I just threw at you guys, but this is very important. There is evidence to back both of these theories up. All right, we're going to start with the Fire Brothers evidence. I'm going to show clips from his video as we get right here, and it's very important.
Thank
These
God
freaking ads,
I'm
bro. I hate 'em.
starving. Can you recommend a good place to eat,
I gotta
honey?
get.
Hey,
I gotta get a new. I gotta get an ad blocker, bro, because this is very annoying.
Group because you wanna market new toys and all, but for the old generation you'll figure they will stick together, especially since they served in the Nest organization together. I always found that a bit weird, but there's evidence that they actually did. Now, for those of you who have been in the TF fandom for a long time, especially during the early days of Age of Extinction, this image is gonna be very familiar. Remember this? Leftfoot's vehicle mode was seen on set. Not only that, but we also saw Bumblebee on the same scene where this picture of Leftfoot was taken. Now, like we all know, Leftfoot's vehicle mode never appeared in the movie itself, and this image always confused me because we had no idea what this was doing there. People were saying at the beginning that this was fake, but I mean, lo and behold, Leftfoot actually appeared in the movie, so we know this is real. Not only that, but when we saw Leftfoot's vehicle mode on set, it was around the same time Ratchet also got confirmed to be spotted on set. And I don't think it was just a coincidence they just happened to get Ratchet and Leftfoot's vehicle modes around this time of the film. They were planning to shoot some scenes with them in mind. I mean, Ratchet's vehicle mode was at least seen when he was being hunted down by Cemetery Wind, but Leftfoot was never seen. And don't go around and say, oh, fire, it's just here because they were gonna use the royal mode anyway, so they just wanted it there so they know where to add the CGI and stuff. And I want to tell you guys that that's not how it works. There was no need to get Leftfoot's vehicle mode on set if they were just gonna use the royal mode. You could have just used the CGI model for that. Unless you were planning to have a vehicle chase scene or something like that. And where do we see Leftfoot dying? We see him in what it appears to be a small highway. Now, I've been analyzing the background here of the place where Leftfoot dies, and originally I was thinking that this probably takes place, in the highway where the Autobots are fighting Galvatron and Stinger. Well, quote-unquote fighting Stinger, but you get the point. Because it's very similar, and the railing is similar, and like the location around it is similar, but if you pay close attention to the environments around both scenes, the highway in this place look a bit different. The trees are closer to the highway where Leftfoot died, while the highway where the Autobots got chased down, the trees are further apart. Also, the layout of the driveway is a bit different. So no, they didn't shot the scene in that place. Now you're wondering, Fire, why is that important? Well, my dear viewer, you're about to find out. I looked back on some of the Raging Nations videos during the early filming of Age of Extinction, and something that caught my eye is that the production was filming in Grace Harbor County in the Satsum nuclear power plant. Now you guys probably remember this, there were rumors that they were filming at a power plant and it was gonna have some kind of importance on the film. Now at no point in the film did the power plant ever, played any kind of like a role on the movie. It was kind of just like a detail that everyone kind of just forgot about. But there's this YouTuber called Mr. Brutazo who made a video basically going to the power plant and just like getting a view of the layout. I analyzed this video for about an hour. And look at this part closely. Does this seem familiar to you? That's right. This is the highway where Leftfoot died, where the scene where he gets shot down by the Cemetery Wind agents takes place. So it looks like originally Leftfoot was meant to have a small chase scene with Cemetery Wind where he was gonna be chased down, then he was gonna be cornered by them before being shot.
Alright, yeah, that's practically all. Yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead in the video because he still has a little bit more to say, and it's very interesting on how he deducts all this.
You figured that Ratchet, one of the smartest characters amongst the Autobots, and probably the next in command after Optimus goes missing. And I know, I made a video talking about who becomes second in command in Dark of the Moon, and I know me saying Ratchet kinda contradicts that, but go check out that video again. I explain why, second in command and leader of the Autobots are two separate things, and just because you're second in command doesn't mean you become leader right away. I covered it in that video. I know there's a lot of like, go check that video out, but trust me. But in case you're too busy, basically, I said that if Optimus were to die or go missing, the best choice to take leadership, I'm talking about leadership, not being second in command, is Ratchet. So him being alone and not leading the Autobots is very, weird, strange. But what if Ratchet was actually in charge of the Autobots. Now here's where my crazy theory comes in. I think that at the beginning, the Autobots were ambushed in Mission City. If it was just Optimus Prime or if he had company like Sideswipe, Mirage, or the other Wreckers, we don't really know. But Optimus goes missing, Ratchet takes command, and he gets the message: cease all contact with humans. Now, something to note about the power plant here is that it's abandoned. The Autobots have a habit of going to abandoned places in Age of Extinction to hide from, human prying eyes. This will make it the perfect place for Ratchet to, reunite the Autobots and try and figure out what's going on. Why are the humans turning against us? And the reason why you say that Ratchet wasn't with Optimus Prime when the ambush in Mexico City happened is because Ratchet seems pretty surprised and confused that the humans are attacking him in Age of Extinction. And he even tells the Cemetery Wind agents that the reason why he's running is because he heard, the message from Optimus Prime. So what I'm thinking here is that the Autobots going to hiding in the power plant. Leftfoot's there, Ratchet's there, Bumblebee's there, maybe Sideswipe, Mirage, and the others are there too, but for those I'm a bit skeptical about because there's not enough evidence. But at some point, they get detected by Cemetery Wind and Lockdown. Now, Lockdown is a sniper. He doesn't really need to be there to severely injure the Autobots. And the Autobots have no defense against sniper fire. What are they gonna do? Shoot at the mountains hoping to hit him? The power plant, well, it's a good hiding place. It's not a place that provides good cover against sniper shots. They're pretty
Alright, yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say, play here, but there is a lot of evidence backing all this up. Now we'll go to Theory Miss's evidence that he made in his own video. By the way, all these videos will be linked in the description below. Definitely go check those out if you want to have some more Transformers YouTubers to watch, Alright, so let's play here.
Contact with humanity.
God dang it, these freaking ads, bro. YouTube is infested with ads. It's
Your
very
hands-free
annoying.
summer is here.
I don't know
When
what
you
to
hit
do.
the road with available Super Cruise driver assistance tech,
Alright. These ads are so pesky, bro. Sorry, guys.
Cemetery Wind did not start off hunting down the Autobots. Instead, they worked side by side with them to take out many Decepticons before ultimately betraying the Autobots by ambushing Optimus Prime in Mexico City. Now, I know, this is a very bold claim to make, but I have 3 key pieces of evidence that can back this theory up, and I'll save the most convincing for last. The first piece of evidence that I have that supports the Autobots working with Cemetery Wind at some point is the fact that when Attinger got control of the war, he was dealing with the Obama administration. Now, you might be wondering, how is this a piece of evidence? And well, during the events of Revenge of the Fallen, the Obama administration viewed the Autobots as a potential threat to national security, because they believed that the reason why the Decepticons continued to stay and come to Earth was to seek vengeance upon the Autobots. This led them to actively discuss if their national security would be best served by denying the Autobots further asylum on Earth. Furthermore, the White House was in active contact with Nest to understand everything that was going on at a moment's notice. And keep in mind that this level of monitoring was present before the Decepticons revealed themselves to the world. And as we know, things got a lot worse when the cons went on to sink the USS Theodore Roosevelt and all the lives on it. Because of this attack, the government declared war on the Decepticons, and the Obama administration, believing that the Autobots were partly responsible, deactivated Nest and made preparations to exile the Autobots from the planet. However, this plan did not get any further since Lennox would go on to defy orders and take his Nest team on an unauthorized mission into Egypt, which ultimately saved the day. Because of this mission, the government would go on to learn that the Decepticons' continued presence on Earth was not because they wanted to seek vengeance upon the Autobots, but to activate a star harvester, a device which could convert the energy of stars into energon, and thus they dropped their plans to exile the bots and allowed them to stay. Later on in Dark of the Moon, with the Decepticons now in hiding, the administration would use the Autobots to search for signs of another Decepticon attack, and to police human affairs by spreading some good old freedom around the world. The point that I'm getting at here is that the administration was very hands-on when it came to the Autobots because they were directly tied to the nation's national security. And you can only imagine the level of monitoring the administration did after the Battle of Chicago. This is why Attinger could not just go on his crusade right away, because the Obama administration was constantly looking over his shoulder. And so Attinger would only be able to make his move if the next administration that came into power at the start of 2017 was less hands-on. Now, the second piece of evidence that I have that supports the Autobots working with Cemetery Wind is the fact that Cemetery Wind needed the Autobots in order to take out the Decepticons. You see, the Battle of Chicago made it clear to Attinger that humans for the most part were not capable of killing Decepticons without the Autobots' help. And we know that he knew this since the Battle of Chicago showed the world that the greatest military on Earth was not able to stop the Decepticons until the Autobots came back to save the day. So, if the military couldn't do it, a Black Ops task force wouldn't stand a chance. Now, I can already hear some of you guys saying, wait, didn't Ratchet get killed by Cemetery Wind? And, well, no, not really. You see, though they were able to damage him, they were far from actually killing him. You see, the only reason why they were able to immobilize him here was thanks to Lockdown. Because Lockdown was responsible for sniping Ratchet's leg off, preventing him from escaping, crippling his armor which made Ratchet weaker, and taking out his blaster which prevented Ratchet from fighting back. And we know that Lockdown was responsible for all this and not Cemetery Wind, because we can clearly see Lockdown's iconic silver missile in each of the shots. So based on this, if Cemetery Wind was having this hard of a time with Ratchet, who is more of a medic than a soldier, and who held back from actually shooting the humans and instead just shot around them in order to knock them back just like Optimus Prime would go on to do, you can only imagine how much Cemetery Wind would struggle against a semi-competent Decepticon goon who had no regard for human life. So with that said, Cemetery Wind needed the Autobots if they wanted a fighting chance against the Decepticons. And after all, the Decepticons would be Cemetery Wind's main target in this crusade, since they were the ones who directly killed civilians while the Autobots indirectly caused their deaths. Now, the third and final piece of evidence that I have that can prove that the Autobots previously worked with Cemetery Wind comes from the dialogue spoken by Ratchet during his death scene. As we know, Ratchet went into hiding because he was sent this distress message from Optimus Prime.
Calling all Autobots. We are under targeted attack. Cease all contact with humans.
Given this context, you would assume that Ratchet would have perceived the humans that were actively trying to kill him as the very individuals Prime warned the Autobots about. However, he doesn't. And instead, when Cemetery Wind boxes him in, Ratchet proceeds to introduce himself, stating that he is their friend and an Autobot.
Medical Officer Ratchet. I'm a friend. I'm an Autobot.
But the smoking gun here is that when James Salvoy asks Ratchet why he was running from them if he was in fact an Autobot, Ratchet plays Prime's distress message to them, and goes on to tell them this.
We're all hiding. All Autobots are being hunted. We're all in danger.
As you can see, Ratchet was clueless that Cemetery Wind were the ones hunting down the Autobots. The fact that he introduces himself as a friend and an Autobot when confronted, and even plays Prime's distress message as proof of his identity, shows that he genuinely believed that the Cemetery Wind soldiers were not the individuals Prime had cautioned the Autobots about. And the...
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, very good pieces of evidence for both sides. Now, I'm going to present who lived and who died. Alright, so let's start with Dino, right here, or Mirage, as some people like to call him. These Cemetery Wind kill cards that were revealed in the earlier scenes of the movie. If you look right here, that's Dino, and he says he's alive. So I think it's confirmed that he's alive. So now Roadbuster, right here, he's this is the KSI drone, and if you know anything about KSI drones, they were modeled after the Transformers. So, and if you look right here, he has the same exact visor as Roadbuster. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say he's dead, since we haven't really heard anything about him. Now, so Sideswipe right here, I'm pretty sure he's dead. The Fire Brothers did make a video about it. I will post it in the link of the description if you want to know more. I would play some of the clips, but it's already almost a 20-minute video, so I'll sum it up for you. There's picture like during the old marketing campaign of Age of Extinction, they had a website called Transformers Are Dangerous. Unfortunately, you can't access it anymore. But there were pictures of a silver Autobot that looks almost exactly like Sideswipe. So yeah, I think he's cooked. In Topspin, we know he's alive since he appeared in the last night. Alright, so now I'm going to present to you guys my theory about what happened between the events of Transformers 3 and 4. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, Lockdown will get into contact with Cemetery Wind. The three-way deal would happen. Cemetery Wind would give Lockdown Optimus Prime. And Lockdown would give Harold Antiger the seed. And Antiger would give it to KSI. KSI would then give Antiger 5 million shares in their company. Cemetery Wind would lure Optimus Prime to Mexico City with a high-value Decepticon target. For this scenario, I will say it's like Blitzwing or whatever, because his size is huge, and he could probably give Optimus a run for his money. So Optimus would take Sideswipe and Dino with him. They would go to where the Decepticon was last seen, only to find him dead. Cemetery Wind would open fire on the Autobots. Optimus tells Sideswipe and Dino to escape. As he tried to reason with the humans, Lockdown would get out his sniper, his like face cannon thing, from the shadows and hit Optimus Prime 2 times, severely injuring him. Optimus would scan a new vehicle mode. Lockdown would then snipe Optimus one last time, lodging the missile in his chest, just like we saw in the Cade Yeager scene with him waking up Optimus. Optimus would just barely manage to escape and get off his distress message. So Bumblebee would obviously receive that message and sneak the Autobots outside of the CIA HQ. Sideswipe and Dino would contact Bumblebee and his team, telling him to meet him at the power plant. Unfortunately, Bumblebee would have been spotted by humans, and then they would call Cemetery Wind. Autobots would reunite, with the exception of Optimus, obviously. Sideswipe and Dino would try to explain everything, exactly what happened to Optimus Prime, but Lockdown would arrive, shooting Sideswipe and killing him. Then Cemetery Wind would arrive, opening fire. Autobots would have their final stand against everybody, and frick, I lost my place. Humans. Sorry. Um, but sorry. Oh, holy crap! Sorry, guys. Humans would Roadbuster would get killed by Lockdown, and Dino would be heavily damaged. Bumblebee would order the Autobots to retreat and meet up at Monument Valley. Leadfoot would sacrifice himself and get killed. Bumblebee would scan his evasion mode just like he did in the movie. Dino Topspin would barely manage to escape. Ratchet would get the tracker placed on him. Hounddrift Crosshair would meet up with B. And finally, Brains would have been captured, but Wheelie somehow managed to escape by like dumb luck. Now, I'm gonna have an uncomfortable conversation with you guys. What happened to Sam Witwicky? Um, Remember the scene when Ratchet got killed and he played Optimus's message? He said, cease all contact with humans. Now, this means we have to cease contact with Sam. So I can see you could already read this, but after the Autobots went into hiding, Cemetery Wind would go to Sam's house, interrogate him about where's Optimus Prime. Excuse me. Sam wouldn't know, obviously, so Harold Antiger would give the order to execute him, killing Sam off. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. We have to make it to 100 subscribers, because we gotta get there. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment, obviously. Goodbye.